Hey, Dawn. How you doing? Good. I'm doing well. Got a night off tonight. I figured I'd do something different. Got a good workout in at the gym. I don't know what to do with myself. I said, I'm going to enjoy this. All right. Aw. Well, it's productive. Being productive is always good. Okay, so I saw somebody else joined. I'm not sure who that was. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes to see if anybody else jumps on here. Yes, that's awesome. Yes, that's an A. Yes, we got a scholar in the building. I'll run a lap with you. I'm serious though. Mhm. Well, so this is my Money Monday segment that I do every week. And I'm trying to play around with different formats. Usually I'll do a blog post. Sometimes I'll just do post a picture with some helpful information. I decided to do a Periscope tonight. Last week I did a YouTube video, so it switches up every week. But I'll see how this goes, and I might start doing it more. We'll see. I guess people are still enjoying the warm weather. But Money Monday is something that I do every Monday, and it's basically just sharing helpful financial tips or strategies so people can use them throughout the week or be thinking about it at the beginning of the week. So today I'm talking about money mindset, which is simply what you think about money. And so I was thinking about the Eat Right for Your Blood Type challenge that Kia is doing. Mrs. Wells, hello. So I thought about the Eat Right for Your Blood Type challenge that Kia is doing. And hey, Vana. I thought about the challenge because my energy levels are terrible, and so I'm like, I need to do something different. I'm at a point now where I'm desperate. I'll take any advice I can that'll get me the energy that I need to be able to function throughout the day. My energy levels are so bad that I literally have to go to the gym to be able to make it through the day. So it's good and bad. Good because I've been wanting to get back in the gym but haven't really found the motivation. And so this has kind of forced me to make time to go to the gym. So I was talking to Kia about doing the challenge, and I was just freaking out because I don't know what my blood type is. But based on your blood type, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, it tells you what diet you need. And so I think I'm A type, but I'm not sure. But when I saw that it was mostly vegetables, I was like, I only eat 3 vegetables. And so I was getting overwhelmed. I was freaking out. I wanted to cry. Because that was overwhelming. I mean, that was overwhelming. Seriously, like I thought about my diet, meat and bread, and sweets. That's mainly, oh, you're lucky. Oh, positive. You can help the world. But I was so overwhelmed because I'm like, so if oh, y'all both O's. Oh, y'all are rare breeds. My mom, she's an O. But I was like, so if I'm type A, now mind you, I don't even know what my blood type is. I'm just thinking maybe it's A. But I'm like, if my blood type is A, then if I have to convert my diet to eating mostly vegetables, I'm in trouble because I only eat 3. So I'm freaking out, and Kia's like, well, just think about the positives, the fact that you're going to have more energy, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't trying to hear all of that because I'm like, I only eat 3 vegetables. How am I going to survive? So, yeah, clearly. So it got me to thinking, in the same way, I wanted more energy, and now I'm at a point where I have to do something different because I maybe done passed out somewhere. There are people out there who, in the same way, they know that they need to do better with budgeting. They know they need to do better with cutting back on buying certain things, on how much they spend, on how little they save, but they simply don't take the time to do what they know they need to do. So money mindset is just, again, how you think about money. And so when you think about why some people are able to move forward financially versus others who aren't making much progress, it's either one of 2 things needs to happen. Either, hey PA, either one of 2 things needs to happen. Either something bad has to happen that will force them to make changes, or they'll need to have their mind already made up that that's what they're going to do, whatever that is. Before I bought my house, I knew 7 years before I bought my house that I was going to buy a house. And then when I got in the position where I started working full time and earning, a good amount of income, I started saving 3 years before I bought my house. So I was intentional about it. So you have to either make up your mind that this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it, and map that out and start working whatever. Yes, and it's going to happen for you too. Yes, you have to be intentional. So, yes, I saved for 3 years every month consistently. Before I bought my house. So saying all that to say, there are 4 steps. There are 4 steps that I highly recommend if you find yourself not making the amount of progress that you want to make in the area of your finances. First, you have to know what you want. I knew that, unfortunately, when my family was forced to sell our home and we ended up moving down here to Richmond, we was moving every 2 years from apartment to apartment to apartment. And I grew up in a house for, the first 4 years of my life, I was in a house. The next 12 years of my life, I was in a house. So that's what I was used to. So moving from apartment to apartment, that was unfamiliar to me. I didn't like it. Moving was exhausting, and I knew my mom didn't want that, but unfortunately she was newly divorced, single mom. She did what she had to do, and I commend her because it was a lot. But going through that, it helped me realize that this is not what I want for myself. I want to be in a house again. I want to be stable. I don't want to move every 2 to 3 years. It's exhausting, and I just want to be settled somewhere. So I made up my mind. We moved down here in 06, so I was 17. So I made up my mind when I was 17 years old that I'm going to go to college. I already knew what college I was going to, before I started my senior year. Thankfully, it worked out. But I knew that I wanted to be in the house again. So I knew that once I graduated, once I got the job making the amount of money that I was expecting to make, that I was going to start immediately saving towards that. So number one, you got to know what you want. Number two, you got to be specific. So I knew how much I would be able to comfortably afford. I didn't want to pay no more than $1,100 a month for a mortgage. And so when I was, and they have calculators on Google that you can go to Google and type in, mortgage calculator to see what your monthly payment would be. And if you wanted to pay a certain amount, how much house you can actually afford. So I went online, if I'm paying $1,100 a month, about how much house can I afford. And it was between that 150 to 180 range. So I made sure when I was looking at houses way before I started working with a realtor, that I was looking at homes that I could actually afford. And that helped me narrow down what areas I can possibly find a home at the price that I knew I'd be comfortable paying. For those of you who want more money in your savings account, how much? If you had a certain amount of money in your bank account that would make you feel comfortable, how much would that be? And once you know that, you can start making plans to reach that specific amount. So, which leads to the third thing, which is, look at my notes here. The third thing, you have to have a plan. So again, if you want $6,000 in your bank account and you have, how soon do you need that money in your account? Do you want to have it in your account in 6 months? Is 6 months realistic? Do you want to have it in your account at the end of a year? Is a year realistic? Because again, once you figure out how much or what that number is, you have to figure out how much time that's going to take, given how much you can afford to put up or put towards whatever that goal is. So if you want $6,000 in 6 months, can you afford to put away $1,000 every month? That may not be realistic. So if you stretch it out for a year, then that cuts in half. That's $500 a month. And if that's not realistic, maybe you go to 18 months and then you can break that number down. But whatever it is, you have to, again, be specific. You have to know exactly what it is you want, and then have a plan in order to work towards that goal. And lastly, you have to be consistent. And I think the key here is just making sure that you're setting yourself up for success. When I work with people on budgeting, I've ran into people who have budgets that don't suit their lifestyle at all. So I'll hear that it hasn't worked. They started it for a month and then, it just they got away from it. You have to be realistic. If you go out to eat every weekend, you have to make sure that your budget supports you going out every weekend. Because the worst thing you want to do is have a budget and then say that you're only going to spend $50 going out to eat, knowing good and well you spend more like $150 a month. Because if you actually spend $150 when you budgeted $50, you're taking that $100 from somewhere else. And if it's for an actual bill, then, the consequences, you'll have to, endure that or either pull from your savings in order to cover that. So you got to be realistic. So those are the 4 tips that I have. Exactly, exactly. And you don't want to be in that position. So it's better to start how you want to finish. So those are the 4 tips I have, because I know that now, this year, there are a lot of things that people would like to do differently. And so there's a lot of advice out there on how to do that. And so there's no excuse. Yes, amen for budgeting. There is no excuse why, anyone can't make progress in the area of their finances, because it's possible for everybody. So just to recap for those who may have just joined, number 1, you have to know what you want. Number 2, you have to be specific. Number 3, you have to have a plan. And number 4, you have to be consistent. You have to make up in your mind what it is that you want, and then you have to attach numbers to it. What do the numbers look like? Because at the end of the day, the numbers is what you need to strive for, because that's the goal. You have your ultimate goal, which is, oh, you're welcome. The ultimate goal, which is either getting that house or having, X number of dollars in your savings account. That's the ultimate goal. But you have to look at the numbers. You need to save $5,000, which is 3% of your down payment. If you want the house for savings, you need to save X amount of dollars per month. Thanks, Dawn. You have to save X number of dollars per month in order to reach your 6-month, year-long, or 18-month goal of having X number of dollars in your bank account. And make sure you set yourself up for success and be realistic. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. Money Monday, usually I'll do like a blog post, or last week I did a YouTube video. So I'm playing around with some different formats. But if you have specific questions that you'd like me to address during this segment, you can reach out to me on Twitter, Facebook. My handle is Miss Janae M, so it's the same as here on Periscope. Or you can shoot me an email at handinhandinvestmentsolutions@gmail.com. Yes, Dawn, you are a scholar. 98. You better keep that. I don't know how far you are in the semester, but yes, hopefully you get some extra grant money from that. Well, it's been fun, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I know I am. So, if anybody doesn't have any questions, yes, you're going through PA's program. Yes. So yeah, soak it all up, Dawn. Soak it all up. That is awesome. So if y'all don't have any questions, I'm going to sign out. Hey, Portia. You're going to have to catch the replay. Portia, we was just talking about money mindset, and why some others are progressing more financially versus others. And just to do a quick recap, number 1, you have to know exactly what it is you want. Number 2, you have to be specific. So, if you're trying to save more, how much? If you're trying to, if you're trying to, buy a house, how much can you afford to pay per month? Number 3, have a plan. And number 4, be consistent. So again, you all have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Nadia. She's so sweet. So yeah, if there aren't any questions, I'm going to jump off of here, and you all have a good evening. Aww. I'll talk to you all later. Oh, no problem. Bye, y'all.